Now another room, lost a lot here. We're returning one starter, I guess, technically, but Cole Hudson played a lot. So in my opinion, we're returning two. I mean, he played it just as much as DJ Campbell almost. So
Yeah.
let's talk about this offensive line. A lot of guys to talk about. Let's start at this. We both agree Trevor Goosby's going to be the left tackle, correct? Like, I
Yeah.
don't really know a world where that isn't happening.
Yeah, I would be shocked if there's anybody else in the room that takes over. I would be flabbergasted.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a better chance he ends up as a first round pick than he doesn't start at Texas next year. Like
I
go
think
after next year.
Yeah, no, I think it's absolutely right. I think there's a reason why he came in and replaced Kelvin Banks when he got hurt. Right? There's a reason why he came in and replaced Cam Williams when he got hurt. He's the best tackle on the team right now because those other two left. So best tackle goes to left tackle, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's actually upside there that he can be better than Cam Williams. I really believe that. Like, just watching him, I think he moves a little bit better than Cam Williams. My only issue, again, is in open space on the screens. He needs to block better. But other than that, like, just general pass protection and just run blocking, I think he was just as good as Cam Williams was during that last year. Like, I really didn't see a drop off.
Yeah. Not enough to warrant any concern, right? And even at left tackle, right? Like Kelvin Banks, obviously surefire first round pick, but like it was not a situation where it was like 2 or 3 years ago when a tackle goes down, you're like, holy crap, this looks awful. There was a drop off, but it wasn't like embarrassing. It was just like, hey, this guy is a freshman coming in, replacing the number one tackle on the board.
Yeah, and then let's move to left guard. So this one is just completely open. I mean, you could have Neto, you could have Connor Stroh, you could have Cole Hudson. I think those are probably your main three. It'd take a lot for me to believe like Nate Kibble takes that job or Daniel Cruz moves over to left guard. I don't see that. So out of those three, who do you think ends up as the left guard starter?
Nato is a guy who I like and I want to see be successful. He's the kind of body that Kyle Flood likes. And again, I think for him, he's still learning football in a little bit. Like he was kind of a late starter in football. So I think that's probably where the development curve comes from with him. But I think again, if I have to pick right now, he's the guy I think slots in there left guard.
No, I agree. I think he's actually a better run blocker than a couple of these other guys. I'm worried about him in pass protection. That's where I've seen him struggle. He's not as quick as the other guys we're used to. And that's something Hayden Connor was spectacular in run blocking. He actually struggled in pass protection. So I could kind of see something similar this year again at left guard. And the thing that kind of sucks is whoever does, like you have two spots for three people. It's going to be Neto, Connor Robinson, and Cole Hudson battling out left guard center. Two of those spots are going to go to 2 out of 3 of those guys. One of them is going to transfer. That's just going to happen. I mean, Neto's a junior, Cole Hudson's a senior, and Connor Robinson's a senior. They're going to have to transfer. So when that happens, I'm just letting Texas fans know it's not a big deal. It was going to happen. They're going to battle it out. They'll find the best one, and one of them is going to have to transfer.
Yeah, I mean that's a good problem to have, right? The rising tide raises all ships, and sometimes a guy has to leave, and it is what it is. Like that's part of it. We have to get used to that if Texas is going to be at this level.
No, 100%. And I agree. I think Neto is going to be the left guard. So that means I think we both agree on the center. You think Cole Hudson's going to be the center as well?
I would be shocked if it's anybody but Hudson. I mean, I think, there is Connor Robertson, probably not. I really wanted to see Daniel Cruz be that guy. I think maybe he is next year, but I think we're in agreement there.
No, yeah, I think it's going to be Cole Hudson. I could see a scenario where Daniel Cruz is the center if he has a really big jump from year 1 to year 2, and then Cole Hudson's left guard, and then that means, honestly, at that point, you'd probably be losing 2 guys. You'd probably be losing Neto and Connor Robertson, and I wonder if that goes into the decision-making for the staff as well, because if it's super close, just give it to Cole Hudson so you don't lose Cole Hudson. I mean, I'm fine with that, by the way, if it's close. If it's not close, then I don't like that, but if it's close, I understand that line of thinking. So that means at that point, you probably are losing Connor Robinson, which sucks. And it's kind of weird because he came in during the Red River rivalry 2 or 3 years ago, and I thought he played pretty well in Jake Major's absence, and we haven't ever seen him since then. So
it's good to have a good backup center, right? It is what it is.
Yeah. Right guard, it's Devon Campbell. Like, he came back for a reason. He's the only returning starter, I should say. And he'll be the right guard here. I really don't see any competition here. Maybe they slide him to left guard or something of that nature, but he's playing guard, whatever it is. But I think he's going to stay at right guard. So I want him to finally live up to his potential. I would say out of that 2022 class, I'm not saying he's been bad. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying compared to what he was rated, he's probably been the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, and I think it's because of not only the rating, right? 5-star, like 5-star wire to wire kid. A lot of unless like a lot of manufactured drama with his recruiting. Like he
Yeah.
didn't announce, but he's already signed, and so it was a weird like that situation. And it sucks that he came in with another 5-star that stepped on campus and was ready to play day one. Like it's like there's that comparison as well. You think about Kelvin Banks with a 5-star in the same class. Kelvin Banks has already proven himself enough to go on to the NFL. It's like there's that sticking point. I'm with you. I really like DJ Campbell. I put in his eval when I was writing recruiting stuff that like part of the concern with him was like he was in such a run heavy scheme in high school. The pass blocking is going to need to develop pretty quickly, and it just hasn't. And so I think he's still got to work on the eyes. He's still got to work on the feet and pass blocking. He's still got to look for work and find work regularly as he is back there in pass pro. So I want him. I really want him to be successful. I'm a big DJ Campbell fan. I want him to be good. I really think he can be good, but this is one of those like you got to go or get off the pot years for him.
Yeah, he's been super inconsistent. He's kind of like the Alfred Collins of the offensive line. Like you see the talent sometimes, and the other times you're like, "What the hell are you doing?" I mean, we've seen that because Cole Hudson has had to replace him in some games because he's not playing well. So it's confusing there. And the reason I'm saying this again, the rating, it's not just the rating, guys. This guy was the highest rated offensive lineman of this past decade, not just a year of this past decade. So he's the Quinn Ewers basically of the offensive line, and he just hasn't lived up to that.
Yeah.
So it sucks, and I'm hoping he can live up to it because he's got crazy potential, and maybe the scheme will help him inside zone. I think he'll be really good at that. He's a really hard-nosed, angry guy when he blocks, so I think this will help him a little bit moving to inside zone instead of outside zone.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like I said, the run blocking was never the question with him. In pass pro, what are his eyes doing? What are his feet doing? Where is he looking? That was always the big issue. I text with a guy named Daniel Sehorn. He played offensive line in college, and he's a recruiting writer. And that was always our complaint. It was like, DJ Campbell is great in run blocking. He's going to put somebody on their keister and then find another person to put on their keister. But where are his eyes when in pass pro? Does he have good eye discipline? Is he looking in the right spots for work? Are his feet staying active? Like those are the things that I've been disappointed in based upon how high of expectations I had for DJ Campbell. Because I think that kid could be a first-round pick, could be a top couple of offensive linemen off the board. Guards don't usually go as high as tackles, right? So, but again, he's a guy who could be an early pick, a high-rated guy with all of the intangibles he has. What are his eyes going to do? What's going on between the ears? Because that's really where it is at this point.
100%. Right tackle, Brandon Baker. Is that where you're landing him?
Yeah, I think Brandon Baker's going to be there. I would be shocked. He was a guy who came in and I loved his upside. Great body, great physicality. He stepped into a room. I think if he had been pressed into service at a couple as he came as a freshman, he'd have been fine. But being able to sit behind Cam Williams for a couple of years and develop, I think he's going to be even better.
Yeah, 100%. He's 6'4", 315 from Mater Dei out of California. Big kid. He was one of those guys like a must get out of that class a couple years ago, and we got him. And I expect a lot. Like I think he was a lower 5-star kid, and he has the body type, he has the feet, he has everything you need. Can he anchor that right side of the offensive line? And that's another reason like to be high on Devon Campbell, because listen, you're going to have to be the leader this year on that offensive line. You're going to have to also help out the young guy on the offensive line, which is to your right. And I think he's got to step up, and I think Brandon Baker, I think he'll play pretty well. It's kind of the opposite with Brandon Baker. I think he'll do well in pass protection. I'm probably more worried about him in the run side of things, but you are probably with the best run blocker on the team next to you. So I think that will help out.
Yeah, again, it's good. It is going to be an interesting group to watch develop and coalesce.
Yeah, and then Andre Kojo is probably going to be his backup. This guy, 6'6", 340 pounds. That's going to be interesting. He's probably got the more Kyle Flood type build. So maybe he develops faster. Maybe he's the starter. I don't know, but we'll see about him. I have high hopes for him as well. We'll see how he does during spring, but that does it for the offensive line. I think we agree on basically everything. I'm hoping someone else steps up because right now we're pretty green behind everyone that we think is going to be starting. Like I would have loved if we're gonna land anyone in the spring portal, I would love like just a veteran 6th offensive lineman that we could land, and then also get like an older wide receiver. If we land that or an older tight end, then I feel pretty good. Honestly, I'd rather land like an older tight end than anything.
Yeah, I think a tight end's going to be good. Tight end can be an unlock for this offense. We saw it with Gunnar Helm. We saw it with Jatavian Sanders. Like as somebody that can be a threat at that spot. And not even like a like massive like again like we don't need 700 yards from them. Texas needs probably 300 or 400 yards from them.
No, 100%. Again, guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below as you see that on the ticker. And also, this is the 38th edition of Texas Longhorns Live. We really appreciate you guys being here.